In 4 days' time, Nigeria will have a new president. Followed shortly will be the inauguration of the National Assembly, and then the appointment of new ministers and other executive positions. And I say that democracy in Nigeria also needs freedom from bad politicians and bad leadership. So the big question is, will the incoming administration be different? We further ask, what is or what will be the climate action plan of the incoming administration? And to further ask, what will be the climate agenda of those seeking for leadership in the National Assembly? Those seeking to be Senate President, those seeking to be Speaker of the House of Representatives, do they have an agenda apart from zoning and religion, as we all hear every day? Nigerians, and indeed Africans, are tired of bad leadership. All we want are leaders who see problems and solve problems. We don't want leaders who see problems and cause more problems. And climate change is one of the very big problems, followed, of course, with lack of energy access. Taking some excerpt from this report, Nigeria is one of the biggest economies in Africa, as we know, very richly endowed with oil, natural gas, and biomass. It is also one of the largest countries in terms of population. Of course, the most populated country in Africa, with a population of about 200 million people. At the moment, this research shows that 60% of this population lack access to electricity. And this should worry us all, because despite our position as one of the biggest oil producers in the world, the electricity sector remains one of the biggest challenges. And I must say that it is actually a man-made challenge. There are several other reports that corroborate the finding of this study. In 2001, the World Bank reported or ranked Nigeria as one of the world's worst countries with regards to access to electricity. This study, or this report, which I'll be sharing with you all shortly, revealed that there are a number of policies and programs that have been defined over the years. And I must say that the contribution of the outgoing administration on the development and the enactment of these policies and laws must be applauded. Some of them include the National Energy Policy, the Renewable Energy Master Plan, the Energy Transition Plan, the Nationally Determined Contribution, and the big one is the Climate Change Act. And all of these have three major targets. One, it is targeted that we must have an inclusive access to electricity for at least 90% of our population by 2030. 2030 is just about how many years now? About less than 7, about 6 years. So is that still feasible? But some of these challenges can be solved by the incoming administration. All that is required is the political will. The political will for climate action, backed by these 3 major things: incentives, innovation, and investment. We do not want business as usual, and there is no more time for talking. We want action now. CSOs, what do we want? We want action now. So we came up with some demands, which I'll be sharing, and my colleagues will also mention a few of them. The first one is that the incoming administration appoint as ministers and other executive officers capable and experienced individuals with track record into key ministries such as Ministry of Environment. We need a capable and qualified minister for environment. Ministry of Finance and Planning, Energy, Water Resources, and other related ministries. Appointment should not be based on political party affiliation, zoning, or political compensation alone. We want a Minister of Environment who is not a climate denier. It must be an individual that understands financial flows and can represent Nigeria at international bilateral meetings, such as the COPs and others. The same applies to the National Assembly. The Senate and House Committee on Environment and Climate should be senators and members of the House who understand climate and environmental issues and will perform their oversight responsibilities with credibility, because we do not have time. 2, the inclusion of women and youth is very critical. If you take a look at this hall now, you all see young people, right? We want the inclusion. We call for the appointment of capable youths and women in the new government. The president-elect should be reminded that we are sitting on a gold mine of ideas from young people and women, and we are not tapping from it. Women and youth must not be excluded. Same advice goes to state governors as well. It is important to state here that women and youth are the most vulnerable to climate change impacts, and as such, they should not be excluded. They should be part of the solution.